What's going on, kinfolk? It's Jeff Osuji, founder and CEO of Eventnoire.com, and welcome to the Art of the Party podcast, sponsored by Pronghorn. Today, we're going to talk about moving to New York. It's one of those places where if you want to make it, you got to come to New York, right? You got to come to New York, LA, in my opinion. And a lot of people in entertainment, modeling, fashion, come out here to really realize their dream. And I want to make sure I sat down with somebody who I respect and know, who's been in the event business for some years, but also was a model here in New York who moved here recently to really give the game to other folks who are thinking about moving here and folks who are here. She's somebody that I admire, that started out hosting events at a young age, has always had influence, but also has done some amazing modeling elsewhere and in New York. So, Jalen, how you doing today?
Hi, Jeff. I'm great. How are you?
I'm amazing. So good to have you here. Not only are you somebody that's been a strong supporter of Eventnoire for years, but it's somebody that's always been super dope, doing dope things, and I've always kind of seen you doing your thing in the modeling space. So talk to me, how long you been modeling?
I've been modeling about 5 years.
Okay, 5 years now. And you also started out hosting events too, right?
Yeah, I started throwing parties in high school, and then I started throwing parties in college, and then it just kept going.
I love it. So down at, from Chicago as well, went down to U of I like myself, and I remember when you were hosting events, people were like, man, this is young girl out here is giving us some problems, man. She's doing some dope experiences, man, and she's out here, she got some juice on her. I'm like, well, who's this girl to check out? And I was just checking out some of your events, and you had developed a nice following. I'm like, oh man, she pretty dope, man. So tell us how did you get into events?
So I was always popular, I guess, and really in middle school I was a tomboy, so I was friends with all the guys, and so the girls would want to be my friend to get close to the guys. And
See how y'all ladies,
yeah, so it would just naturally work out. And then I used to go to Melrose Park and rent out like banquet halls for like $500 and charge like $15 to get in, $15 to get in, and then from there it just kept going. And then when I got to college, I was on Pyramid. That's Jeff's company in Champaign.
Entertainment.
Yeah, so I was on Pyramid my freshman year, and then sophomore year, my friends are like, there were new leadership at Pyramid, and they weren't really listening. So then my friends were like, you could just do your own thing. And I had like this.
It was a revolt.
West Quad had like townhouses where you had the whole bottom floor. It was huge, and the upstairs. So I started just throwing it in my house, and then linked with the football team because I'm like, the police not going to shut the football team down. So then we would throw parties at the football team's house, and then we just started getting real venues from there.
I love it. And so you got into modeling. Of course, you got the look, you know what I'm saying, beautiful sister. Now, my question for you is, how did you get into modeling, and, how was the experience moving to New York?
So I got into modeling because people would ask me all the time, because like I said, I used to be a tomboy. So people would just ask me to model for their brands, and I was like, oh, it's good money in this. So I was like, all right, I'll take it a little more seriously. So in Chicago, I was with BMG. That's the modeling agency I was signed with there. And then I just felt like Chicago is limited. Now that being in New York, I see it a different way, but I thought Chicago was limited. So then I came to New York to model. It's completely different market for sure. So like, I'm glad you want to talk about.
How's it different?
So Chicago is commercial. So if you model in Chicago, you're gonna be doing stuff for like Kohl's, Akira, like things like that. And then if you come to New York, that's the higher end brands. So that's where they shoot at. So it's really based on location and what you're trying to do.
Luxury brand.
Yeah,
Cool.
It's really about what you want to do. And surprisingly though, commercial makes more money than high fashion.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, get money in the shot. Okay.
Yeah, they get a lot of money in commercial because, it makes sense though, because I guess if you post a Givenchy casting, you're gonna get like 30,000, like many people that want to do it, and they don't really care what it is, like how much you're trying to pay them. They just want to come. But if you do like Kohl's, you're not going to get that many people running to you, so they pay crazy.
Get into the numbers a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are some of those checks look like? And I know I want to talk about LA as well, but what are some of the checks look like in comparison on you doing modeling?
So it depends. So like New York, that's another thing about New York. If you want to move to New York for modeling, you should. It's mostly for runway models. So if you like print, I don't know. I think LA is a better market for print, but if you want to do like high fashion runway, then New York is your market. Also, like high fashion runway doesn't really pay that much. I think you get like on average about $1,500 for a show. But if you do a commercial shoot, you'll get like you could get $5,000 easily. But the thing is, honestly, like I said, it's just all about what your goal is, because you can do a commercial shoot for $5,000 and you won't have to go that day for the shoot. You show up, do everything, you're done. if you do high fashion runway, you have to go to a fitting, you have to go to you have to do the casting, then you have to do the fitting, then you have to do the rehearsal, and then it's the show. And then that's for like $1,500, $2,000 maybe. I'm high end, but on average it's about, a lot of shows don't even pay, to be honest. A lot of shows don't pay. I don't do shows that don't pay because I'm from Chicago, so like I'm not really into runway that much. But if you're paying well, then I'll be there. So yeah, it's really about what your goal is, really.
So you got a unique look, and you have been able to have some success. What tips do you have for models who are looking to really make it in the modeling industry? I think as an event host, like I'm even hiring some models today for our event. Like it's important to have people who look the part, but also can be help you with event hosts. Like I know that's a part of the game. There's a lot of people do hire.
Yeah, if you want, that's another thing. If you want to model in New York, you have to be very serious about it because they will call you the day of to come do something. So you have to be available and ready and dedicated to do that. I had to change my whole lifestyle to model in New York compared to Chicago. In Chicago, I could wear my hair however I want. I can eat whatever I want. In New York, no, they're very strict on those measurements. You cannot have your hair a certain way. I used to be an eyelash extension addict. Cannot wear eyelashes. You cannot wear fake nails. Like
You can't do the caterpillars. You can.
no, you can't do anything. Even if they're really short lashes, you cannot wear You have to be like completely natural. So it's just about commitment and dedication. And if you really want it, you can succeed in New York. But you also have to be realistic with yourself because it's a lot of competition here. So you should base on where you move based on your look and your market because commercial models look completely different than high fashion models, and like models that are successful in LA look different than models that are successful in New York.
Break it down for it. Break it down.
Yeah, so like I would say honestly, New York is for like if you're really skinny, nice dark skin, or like white girls. LA is kind of, you could be whatever in terms of like size and height. And then Chicago, commercial is mostly for people that like your everyday, like good looking people. Like, oh, that's a pretty girl, but you're not gonna be like, oh, that's like a like a supermodel. So like you have to know your marketing. You have to be realistic with yourself because I would hate for you to pay all that money and move to New York and like not be successful. So
And of course, there are exceptions everywhere. And if you're really good, you work hard, you can make exceptions. But it's good to hear about some of the things that you're experiencing and give advice to folks because a lot of folks do like, hey, I want to do this. And a lot of people I tell, look, if you want to go do this, go do it.
Yeah.
And so respect to you for moving to NYC and really pursuing modeling because it's hard in some markets to be able to do this. You're in Nebraska and you want to be a model. Well, you might be the most beautiful young lady in Nebraska or
yeah, what they say, you're a 10 and wherever, but a 3 in Miami type.
Right. And actually, I think about it. Is there like modeling opportunities in Miami like that?
Yes. Miami, if you're curvy, you will make a lot of money in Miami.
Okay, cool. So, of course, you've done the part of fashion shows and things like that, but there's different types of modeling people should know about. When it comes to events, like, do you see that a lot? Like, I've heard people actually hire models to just be in clubs.
Oh no, it's a thing in New York. Like
right?
I haven't paid for anything.
Tell me about that.
It's a thing. They have apps here for that. You can eat for free. In New York, you can literally survive for free off of being a model. They have apps where they'll feed you every day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they will house you in the model house. And in the model house, you don't pay rent. You just have to go to clubs. It's certain, like I have a lot of friends in model house.
Model houses.
Yeah, model houses are crazy. Like
Sound interesting. Okay.
yeah, so they just like basically live together and they go to the club. Like they have to go like 3 or 4 times a week.
Oh, man. You better go to the club.
And that'll pay your rent for the month. And then they'll feed you too. Like I know every Wednesdays at Tao, it's model day. Like you eat for free at Tao. Like
I was wondering because I see all the baddies at Tao and the good-looking young ladies.
They'll pay you
fellas,
to eat.
interesting. That makes sense. So that's a branded strategy a lot of folks use, leverage models for your marketing. Interesting. Okay, cool. That's dope. So something that's worked for some folks. Okay, cool. What other advice do you have for folks that want to get into modeling? And then also let us know, what's next for you in the modeling game and how can folks get in touch with you?
I think if you want to model, you should start by getting your headshots. Headshots don't let anyone trick you and charge you a whole bunch of money for headshots. You can literally do them on your iPhone.
How much do they pay?
You can do it for free yourself. All of my headshots I do myself, but they'll charge. Some people will charge like $200, $300, and it's like these are the most basic photos you could possibly take. They want you to come no makeup, no anything, your natural hair completely stripped down. They just want to see how you look as a blank canvas. So you just take like basic close up from the back, side profiles. Just simple photos like that.
Now, if you aren't signed to an agency, can you still have success?
Yes, a lot of people prefer to work with girls who aren't in agency because they don't have to pay that fee. Because agencies, they'll charge you 20% on top of whatever you're getting paid.
Oh.
So like they won't even let you include it in the pay. So yeah, a lot of brands are like going away from that, but a lot of brands are very traditional. I know Fashion Week is very traditional, and a lot of places won't even let you come to a casting if you're not with an agency. So it really, like I said, it depends on what you want to do. If you want to be a runway model, then yeah, you kind of do need an agency. But if you just want to do your own thing and have more creative control and brands that you like to do, then I say you can go freelance and be successful. But if you want to do freelance, then you should be on top of networking, and you have to be outside. You have to be at events. New York is full of sponsored events. Every day, it's a cool sponsored event going on around here. So you just need to be there and talk to the right people, and yeah, get your name out there and get your brand out there, and people will call you.
I love it. I love it. So somebody wants to book Jay for a modeling engagement. How can they get in touch with you? How can they?
So you're supposed to go through my agent at Fusion Models, but you can DM me.
Cool. So everyone want to see this. So she hit Fusion Models to hit her. They worked the business out. So shout out to you for being in the Eventnoire commercial we shot last year. Appreciate it.
Yes, I love Eventnoire, honestly.
So make sure y'all tune in. If you're a model, this is some great advice for you. For the event hosts out there, these are some strategies to engage models. You tune into the Art of Party podcast sponsored by Pronghorn. If you're sipping it, make sure you grab a drink from Pronghorn. They got Edmund's Honor, they got 10 to 1 rum, and a portfolio of amazing spirits. So make sure you check them out. And if you're hosting an event, host it on Eventnoire.com, the #1 event platform for the culture. See you soon, y'all. Peace.